这个故事如果你听起来不累，那么你的听力水平在生活中是完全够用的。要持续提升英文，记得点击订阅按钮。我们开始吧。
This line has survived for hundreds of years because someone once paid for ignoring it. Before books were common, before rules were written down, people learned from what hurt them. In Old England, life moved slowly, but danger was close. Towns were tight, roads were rough, and nights were quiet in a way that made every sound matter. Dogs were everywhere. They were not friends. They were tools. They guarded food, homes, animals, and pride. A dog that slept was not resting for fun. It was waiting. At night, oil lamps burned low. A man walking home late knew to watch his steps. Dogs lay near doors, under carts, beside fences. They slept light. One wrong sound could turn silence into pain. People learned to pass without noise. They learned to leave things as they were. Over time, this simple street habit turned into wisdom. Let sleeping dogs lie was not poetry at first. It was survival. The saying grew in daily talk because it worked. A farmer used it when his son wanted to argue with a neighbor about land lines drawn long ago. The father had seen fights turn into blood over words that could not be taken back. He knew the land fed both families. He knew anger slept close. He told his son to leave it alone. In those days, memory was long. A small insult stayed alive for years. People remembered who shamed who lost face, who spoke too loud. When something went quiet, it was often because both sides were tired. That quiet was fragile. The saying warned people not to break it. Writers later put it on paper, but it lived in mouths first. One well-known poet used the idea while telling a story of love and loss. He did not explain it. He assumed people already knew. That tells us something. The phrase was already old when ink touched it. As time moved on, the world changed, but the pattern did not. Dogs became pets. Teeth became words. Damage still came fast. Picture a small port town by the sea, many years later. Ships come and go. News travels with them. A young merchant hears a story about his boss. Years ago, the boss failed, lost money, and ran from debt. Now he is rich again. The rumor feels powerful. It feels like a key. The young man thinks it could give him leverage. He watches his boss laugh with others, calm and respected. The past sleeps under that calm. The young man feels the itch to wake it. He tells himself it is about fairness. He tells himself truth should be known. He brings it up during a tense meeting. The room changes. The boss goes quiet. Others shift in their seats. The old story spreads fast, because stories always do. Trust cracks. Deals slow. The shop loses work. The young man does not gain power. He loses his place. What slept did not stay small. It grew teeth and bit everyone nearby. The phrase lives because moments like this repeat. Another place, another time. A family table. A holiday. Food is hot. Smiles feel thin. An old argument sits under the talk. It is about money, or care, or who did more years ago. Someone makes a joke that is not really a joke. The room stills. Everyone knows what is under that joke. One person could push. One sentence could open it all again. Voices would rise. Old words would return, sharp as ever. Someone looks around and says the line, almost soft. Let sleeping dogs lie. Plates clink. Someone changes the subject. The meal survives. The family leaves tired but whole. That is not weakness. That is skill. The power of the phrase is that it respects time. Time buries things for reasons. Not all silence is fear. Sometimes silence is healing in progress. Sometimes it is a wound that closed just enough to stop bleeding. History is full of moments where waking the past caused damage. Old borders. Old insults. Old pride. People think they can control what wakes up. They are often wrong. The saying does not tell people to lie or cheat. It tells them to choose their battles with care. It asks one simple question. What good comes from this right now? In daily life, this wisdom hides in small choices. A comment you could make at work. A message you could send late at night. A post you could share because it feels true, or clever, or fair. The phrase steps in and asks you to pause. What is sleeping here? What will wake if you touch it? Many regrets begin with the thought, it will be fine. Many problems start with words that did not need to be said. The image of the dog matters. A dog does not plan. It reacts. Once awake, it cannot be reasoned with. Trouble is the same. Once stirred, it moves on instinct. It spreads. It bites fast. That is why the phrase stayed alive across centuries. It fit human nature too well to fade. People kept seeing proof. A village avoids war because no one brings up an old claim. A business survives because a past mistake stays buried. A friendship lasts because one person chooses quiet over being right. This is not about fear. It is about cost. Look at your own life. There is something you know that others do not. There is something you remember that others forgot. You may feel the pull to bring it out, to wake it, to see what happens. Before you do, remember where this line came from. Dark streets. Guard dogs. Real blood. Real loss. Some dogs are better left sleeping. Sometimes the smartest move is not to speak, not to dig, not to test what feels calm. Sometimes the win is walking away untouched, while trouble stays on the ground, eyes closed, breathing slow.
能以非母语者的身份专注学习到现在，这本身就是很棒的进步。真诚感谢你的观看。如果你觉得本期内容实用，点赞或留言让我知道你的想法，这对我持续创作非常重要。我们下期见。